Hey guys, welcome to my G2 versus Schalke VOD review. I think arguably G2 and Schalke are one of the best teams in Europe. I think they're three really top tier teams, which are G2, Schalke, and OG. So it's two of the top teams playing against each other. Very exciting match. Let's see how things went. As always, let's start with the draft. Let's go to 2-speed. Let's get this party started. Gragas, Draven, Karthus. We've been seeing a lot of Karthus ban or Karthus takeaway from G2, takeaway towards G2, which I think is really smart. Yasuo ban against G2 I think is really smart also. Can't leave up Lucian and Urgot though, so maybe you do leave up both. Maybe they ban Jace here and they leave up both Lucian and Urgot. Okay, they banned Lucian. G2, yeah. This is the thing about G2. Let's talk about this Jace pick a little. This Jace pick is super crucial to what they want to do. So this Jace pick leads into three things. It's a flex, why it's so good for them. Flex. And then another one is poke comp. With Zoe. So it's a flex for them, or they can run it in a poke comp plus Zoe. And another big reason is priority. G2 loves playing 1-3-1 split push, and Jace is like a huge proponent to that because he gives you priority, he allows you to split push. I think this Jace opening, if I was Schalke, I probably would have not banned, I don't know Memento's champion pool. I'm not sure if he plays Karthus or not, but I do think Jace was more important of a ban than Karthus and Yasuo. I do think Lucian should be banned. And I think giving Urgot to G2 is actually not that bad, because it kind of destroys the whole point of flex and Urgot going onto Caps. I actually would love it if Caps played Urgot instead of playing one of his good champions. So yeah, I'm not sure about giving up Jace. We'll see. Okay, but you do get Urgot in return, and you do get Israel with Lucian banned. This is a very good reply from Schalke. Israel for upset, one of his best champion. Urgot, no need to talk about it, probably one of the best champions in the meta. Yep, they're already going into a 1-3-1 comp. LeBlanc and Jace are both extremely strong solos, and they'll probably pick Nocturne here. They want to run a 1-3-1 comp, and Nocturne is one of the best enablers of that, or they can run something like Lee for early pressure. I think Nocturne works perfectly fine too. Taking an AD here works fine too, but AD pick honestly doesn't matter. You can pick Sivir, you can pick Kai'Sa. I mean, I'm sure Perks can pick an AP carry also. I think what G2 wants to do is just set up for a good 1-3-1. Tom Kench here. That's already a really great 1-3-1 comp, and then Nocturne later too. Man, so many different directions G2 could go. Kench or Nocturne there would make a really, really strong 1-3-1. Oh, Braum instead. Braum's a little bit weird. While Braum is good versus Israel, it's kind of pushing you towards team fight, and I would much like to see G2 play for 1-3-1 over team fighting. Lissandra, great pick into LeBlanc. It's absolutely the best pick into LeBlanc in my opinion. And it is very cocky of G2 to blind LeBlanc when Lissandra is up. Looks like they're banning Sivir, they're banning AD, so they'll probably ban Sivir Kai'Sa. And G2's banning supports, they'll probably ban Thresh and Alistar, or Thresh and Kench. But Ignar plays so many different things. This Sivir ban's so weird. If you ban just Sivir and you give them Kai'Sa, I think it's perfectly fine for G2. If you're going to ban out the ADs, I think you have to ban out both Sivir and Kai'Sa. Jarvan. It looks like they're trying to get rid of engage tools on Schalke then. Ooh, Nocturne. I love the Nocturne pick here because it allows Schalke to play a little bit the 1-3-1 and the side lane management also. Nocturne plus Lissandra backing up at Urgot. Man, Schalke actually can play a 1-3-1 game. We'll see. Ooh, Yorick. So that Jace is probably going to go AD. It's an AD Jace. So AD Jace with Braum, and then Yorick top lane to counterpick the Urgot. Okay, I feel you. At least LeBlanc together. Lissandra can go MR items, but not that easily. Okay, Shen. So both teams are actually playing so much for side lane prio. Shen and Nocturne help so much with LeBlanc later, Yorick later. This was a very, very interesting draft where both teams were super focused on side lane and how they were going to deal with the side lanes. I'll tell you guys the most important things. Yorick is by far the most important split pusher on G2's team. He will be the one. He will be the one that's primarily going to be split pushing. On the other hand, for Schalke, what they're trying to do is they're trying to do something called shadowing. Shadowing is whenever you have a solo laner in a side and you have people following them like a shadow. And you can shadow with, usually you do shadowing with champions that have globals or champions that can run teleport. Because if you have a champion that has a global, right, and you shadow a solo laner, like if a Nocturne or a Shen shadows a Lissandra in a side lane, right? Let's say they go bot lane and they're shadowing Lissandra. What they can do after they shadow is they can both teleport to Baron if G2 starts Baron, which is usually the play. If you send 2 people bottom, then you start Baron. But because you shadowed with people that have globals, you can counteract that. So that's what we're going to be seeing a lot from Schalke. Brahms, or Israel Shen's a really interesting lane though. Damn, so Jace isn't even a 2-way flex, it's a 3-way flex for Misfits. Or not Misfits, for G2. Nocturne going for that early scuttle. Pretty standard path thing. 2 camps into scuttle. At least they're 2 camp into red. So Nocturne's going to get both scuttles. This is fine. How you play versus someone having both scuttles is, even though they have both scuttles and they have more camps, they're going to be behind in tempo, right? Because they have to pick up the camps. And what you want to do is you either want to go for an early gank, or you either go for an early back and you invade onto their jungle because you're up in tempo. While they're going to be up in farm and they'll have more camps, you're going to be up in tempo. Looks like Yanko's not doing that though, and he just freely gave up the early 2 scuttles. Nocturne's so happy. This is going to push his level 6 so fast because he got both scuttles and he's getting to farm. On the other hand, Janko's looked for a gank bottom and now he's looking for a gank top also. But these ganks actually not doing anything for him. Elise is so much about the early game, and if you don't get much out of playing Elise in the early game, especially on your level 3 spike, then it is a feels bad. Memento's up so much farm on Zankos. Nocturne's a strong 1v1 champion also, but if the whole point of picking Elise into Nocturne is you gank before Nocturne 6, you pressure before Nocturne 6, but none of that got done, and this game is a very, very feels good man from Memento. I mean, if you can do this with Nocturne every single game, then you just do it every single game. Really good ultimate from Abadage, able to dodge the flash cocoon. Doing a great job of matching up versus Capt. Capt is by far the best player in Europe, and oh my god, let's replay that. How does that even happen, boys? Let's replay that. So he should see perks here. He should definitely 100% see perks here, and he should have E'd over this way, but instead he walked the greedy way, or he could have even flashed too. There were so many different things he could have done, but he saw perks, but his reaction to seeing perks wasn't the greatest. You got through the really dangerous Elise flash gank, and you just end up dying to a J throw. God, that's so miserable for the Lissandra. She's still going to be able to lane versus LeBlanc just fine, but man, yeah, you see perks, you just E over the wall. He played it so greedy and allowed Caps to get the chain. Yowza. Schalke had a really good early game going before that. 1.2 deaths at 15 minutes, most in Spring 19. So Abadage's been inting the most. It's funny whenever the broadcast highlights the negative stats that a player has. And the game was so much about the... Oh, also, Cleanse versus Lissandra is 100% the right choice. Janko's coming in. They're coming in. a lot of great ult. Shen ult was really well used. Nocturne ult really well used. LeBlanc cleanse and then W'd right away. I think he could have just held on to the ult a little bit more and not use it on LeBlanc who has cleanse. Why use it on the LeBlanc who has cleanse? Nocturne flying in also. You can delay it a little bit. If he was able to get it off on the Elise, and I also think someone got their teleport canceled too. Let's go back and look at this, because this was such a crucial part for Schalke, because they're using both globals, and they should definitely be getting something from here, and then not getting something from here is actually pretty problematic. So who's using teleport? Someone's using teleport here. Oh, it's a Braum using teleport, so they could even go on the teleport target. He ults LeBlanc. LeBlanc cleanses and W's, and then she flashes out. She still has that W there. And Shen chasing after this. Shen chased after that. Oh, instead of the right side. Damn. A little bit over eager on Abbadage's part, and also Ignar chased after the wrong clone. That was such a crucial point. 2 globals used, Lissandra ult used, and they got nothing. Such a crucial point for Schalke. It's not like their scaling is really bad or anything, and also they got really ahead from what Nocturne did. It's you have an opportunity to press your lead, and you're not getting to press your lead because you're making mechanical mistakes or you're not coordinated enough. They're still going to have a great tool to play versus what G2 has in side lanes later on, but very, very important to take advantage of your early game tools. Oh, double chain. So double chain does as much damage as Q and proccing your cloned Q. So double chain is actually one of your most frequent combos early game as LeBlanc. It's really good in gank situation. It's really good in 1v1 situation also. It's just a very, very flexible combo. Oh, sorry, my fan randomly turning on. Okay, they finally got that kill. And also Shen ult. Ooh, so great. Such a great job from Schalke's part, actually. I would love to see them go for Nocturne back. I would have loved to see them go for Herald there, but Nocturne backed. This was a good use of the ults. LeBlanc no flash. LeBlanc didn't get to jump either. Her W or R would have been on cooldown. And they pick up a second kill on Braum. So how do you play against this? The question is, how do you play against double globals? It seems so hard for G2, right? You play to the global lane. So what is a lane that has globals right now? The Shen and the Nocturne, right? So if you're able to pressure, oh my goodness. So if you're able to pressure onto the Nocturne and the Shen, then the globals can't activate, because the whole point of global is it gives you global map presence. But if you take to the fight to the actual global lanes, then the globals can't take use, and they can't make use of the actual map presence. And that's kind of what we saw happening here. Let's go review this play. So Upset and Ignar swap to top lane. And what G2 is doing is, instead of Ignar kind of getting caught up, but what G2 is doing is they're committing onto Ignar. Ignar was very heavily pushed here. And, I mean, Ignar can't ult anyways because his ult is on cooldown and Nocturne's coming into the fight. This is not going to be a fight where Schalke is going to beat G2 in numbers. And that's very, very important for G2 because globals is all about beating people in numbers, and by taking the fight to the globals, you can deny them that number advantage game. Elise and Lissandra about at the same time, 3v3 already established. Caps able to clean up, W'd out, rooted, beautifully played. Ugh, this is Caps. This is fucking Caps. This is Caps. Beautifully played from Caps, but also very good decision making from G2 to not wait until a Shen ult comes up and constantly take the fight to the global lanes. This is something they should have been doing a little bit more earlier and try to avoid the fights around mid lanes where both Nocturne and Shen can come in from anywhere on the map. They were trying to counteract it with Braum teleport, but Braum teleport, you can't teleport when Nocturne's ulting, and also Shen ult is much better than a Braum teleport. Ignar kind of trolled there by popping the plant and just being in a really aggressive spot, but G2 was still looking to make the play in the right spot. Wonder activating his split push win condition. Zamko's getting killed, 1-for-1 trade, they get the turret though. Then, yeah, this is the other bad part. Shen ult didn't go in all the way, but G2 is so good about pressing their lead and keep on pressuring. So now with the lead that LeBlanc has, she moved first with the Elise, and they're forcing this turret play. Urgot trying to defend, puts himself in an awkward spot. Nocturne got Shen ult, and he's going in. And he was able to Zhonya's also. They kill the Zankos, but the damage from Caps is too much, and Nocturne melts afterwards, and Shen not able to complete his teleport. He must have gotten his... Oh, he got Braum ulted. That's why he couldn't complete his teleport. Oh man, that's actually so bad. We can go check this on the replay, but I'm 100% sure he gets Braum ulted. So look, yeah, we can see the Shen backing up here to try to ult, but Braum cancelled and he followed. Wow, really good play from Mickey X actually. I didn't even notice that until later. I was like, wait, the Nocturne didn't die early. Why didn't the Shen ult come through? G2 is just very good about denying the number game for Schalke and also constantly playing full court press and putting the pressure onto them. G2 is very relentless. They're always pressuring. They don't give you openings and they don't give you timings. Due to what happened early game with Jankos' pathing, Schalke had an opening to do stuff. They did a great job on one of the engages and they did not so great job on the other one. And then afterwards, Ignar got caught out, and G2 was just so on point about full court press and pressuring all sides of the map. G2 is a very fast team. Their tempo and their speed of play is very rare to see in a Western team, and it's very... I wouldn't say it's the most finesse way of playing. G2 is definitely not the most finesse team. They're no Griffin. But they're still very aggressive. They're still coordinated enough where they're making all these aggressive tempo plays work. This is still very impressive for a Western team. I know a lot of people just go like, oh, you just said Griffin is better than this. Yes, Griffin is better than this, but still, like, being able to have this kind of showing in itself is very impressive. So Schalke made a side lane play onto the Yorick. Remember what we talked about, people shadowing and people using their globals, and G2 constantly just responding with plays and pressuring the other side. Because they're always pressuring multiple parts of the map. Even though Schalke is going on one side of the map, G2 can just be like, okay, you're committing multiple members, we're just going to go straight through mid lane. This is how you 1-3-1. This is how you split push. This is how you play side lanes. Really good from G2. Where would G2 be in LCK? Man, that's hard to say. Not better than Griffin. Sandbox, SKT. Griffin, Sandbox, SKT, and then G2? I don't know. I actually think G2 could beat SKT. I think Caps is better than Faker right now. Caps, in this moment, if they played against each other, I do think Caps will do better than Faker. It's really hard to say. I think they could go all the way up to second or all the way down to fourth or fifth. At best, second. At worst, fifth. Down one also. I think G2 will do really well versus down one. Showmaker versus Caps is a really big mismatch. Yeah, and then now they can put 5 people mid to crack open the base. They have poke from Perked. And one other way you can play later on, if you're confident enough you can destroy turrets, which G2 was just grouping up. It forces the global. The globals aren't useful when you take the fight to them, and also in a straight up 5v5 team fight. And that's G2 just forced a straight up 5v5 team fight. What an intelligent team. Holy shit. Damn, G2 is so scary of a team. Their wins don't feel fluky. Sure, they make mistakes, Sure, they can get caught out, they can be over aggressive, but they're so good about staying aggressive and pressuring them. Man. I think G2 would be for sure first in NA. I think they would beat TL. And in LCK, if I had to give an answer, probably, oh man, it's hard. Sandbox versus G2. Damn, Sandbox versus G2. I have to give it to Sandbox. They play in a more competitive region and they look almost as good as G2. So let's say G2 will be third in LCK. Probably first in NA and third in Korea. I think that's a fair assessment of G2. Alright, that's it for this review.